Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
I'm Michael, the bad guy, Temple.
And I am Sensational Shane Britton.
Oh, nice.
Welcome to episode 86, Royal Rumble 1993.
Rumble in Cali.
Yes.
This was the 6th annual Rumble produced by the WWF. It would take place on January 24th, 1993 at the Arco Arena
Go
in
Kangs.
Sacramento, California, with an attendance of 16,000 people.
That's a lot of people, especially compared to our last show.
Just a few.
I'm not knocking them, but
Handful.
Yeah, we haven't, WWF doesn't party hard in California, or hasn't really.
This is the first time.
Yeah, and Sacramento of all places. They didn't even go to, I know it's the capital,
Well,
but I've been to Sacramento.
Not the first time, because they were in LA for WrestleMania.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
well, weren't they in California too for 7? Because they had to switch arenas.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we've been there twice before for WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's just not,
But this is the first non-WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Yes.
not super common. And Sacramento. Sacramento sucks. I've been there. I lived there. It
Never
sucks.
been there.
I don't know of any reason why I would ever want to go there.
Yeah, it's not a desirable place.
But what is desirable? Some Californian food.
Oh, yes. I was going to say wrestling.
Agreed.
I mean, both things are great.
I'm going to take that as my cue to discuss what is the latest menu offering from Shane's culinary trip around the world. Yes, this time in California, I decided to try and find something Californian here in Oklahoma. Michael threw out some great suggestions of burritos filled with French fries,
Yes.
which I've had those.
That's Southern California, though. So next time we go to L.A., we'll ruin ourselves with 4,000 calorie burritos.
I'm all about that. So yeah, California. I've been there a few times. I've never been to Sacramento though, so I hopped on the old Googles and said, "What foods is Sacramento known for?"
I don't know, and I was born there.
We want something that people actually have to search out for. So I kept looking through my list, and they were talking about California-style pizza and lots of hipsters. So
California have a style of pizza? Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole kitchen.
Yes.
California.
You know what's funny? The only time
kitchen.
I've been to a California Pizza Kitchen actual restaurant was when I was a kid. We went to Hawaii once, and I ate at a California Pizza Kitchen in Hawaii, even though I lived in California at the time. And it was the first time I ever ate at a California Pizza Kitchen.
I wish my boy Wolfgang Puck still had a restaurant here in Oklahoma, because I would have gone to Tulsa and
All the way
brought
to
back
Tulsa.
some of their tasty pizzas, because I mean that's a California style pizza there, kind of the artisanal style, more of a personal sized pizza that you can share with others, but you don't look like a complete fool for eating it yourself. Loaded with lots of fresh toppings, different from what you can find at a lot of your typical Pizza Huts, Domino's, and whatnot. So I went to the local hipster hangout, or one of them, I should say, here in Oklahoma City for their pizza, Empire, the Empire Slice House, and got what is known as their Figgy Stardust.
That's how you can tell
That's
that,
hipster?
Yeah, that you can use the H word, is if you name your food after anything from popular culture.
Oh yeah, and especially if it involves David Bowie. So
Does that make us hipster?
No, my name is Michael. I don't know. I think maybe the hip wrestling thing is past at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Dweebs like us.
hey, and here we be. But yes, the pizza. It is, again, Empire Slice House, known as the Figgy Stardust. It has the most hipster-esque toppings that I could find on the menu. It is a basil and almond pesto, some marinated mozzarella, roasted chicken, some baked ham, and figs. I decided to make it a little bit extra by adding some balsamic drizzle to mine because
Why not?
I'm extra like that. Empire Pizza's pretty tasty. This one isn't quite California style. They're actually New York style, but I figure, it's the Royal Rumble. We need enough to feed the Royal Army, so I bought this big-ass, monstrous New York style pizza to represent California with all of their hipster toppings on it.
Figs for all.
Exactly. All for figs and figs for all.
You know what I like about figs? When you cut them, slice them like that, they kind of look, I don't know, alien because of all the little seeds inside of them.
A little bit.
That's fun.
Well, while these two gentlemen are taking a bite of their delicious pizza, I'm going to tell you about something that happened right around the same time as the Royal Rumble. Michael Jackson would play the halftime show of Super Bowl 27, marking the first time in Super Bowl history that viewership would actually increase between the halves.
How many times has that happened since then?
Probably quite a few.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Because this is
basically in '93, Michael Jackson doesn't get any bigger than that.
This is the beginning of the halftime show is a spectacle.
Yeah, it's not a marching band. It's it's Michael Jackson. After this, we can't go back to that.
Yeah,
it is officially a pop concert.
It's an event. Yeah, it's an attraction.
I mean, I have the last couple of years have not given a care about the football game, but I have turned it on long enough to at least watch the
halftime show.
I
think the last one that I caught I was working at the time, was the Katy Perry one, and I was like, "Damn, this is a spectacle."
Oh,
but I don't. It's just I don't need a 30-minute concert that doesn't sound very good.
You didn't watch the Jennifer Lopez Shakira show last year?
No, but I'd much rather would have probably watched that. Probably
Katy
bigger.
Perry was better.
Oh, I'm sure it was a better spectacle, but I don't know. It's 2 for the price of 1 with Shakira and Jennifer Lopez.
Very true.
Just saying, as far as eye candy goes. Oh, her voice is pretty terrible.
I've never.
But she's a real
understood cutie. I've never understood the hype behind either one of those. Jenny
from the Block. I don't really like
I couldn't get into
any of their songs.
Shakira,
nice faces.
Get me wrong, they're both beautiful. They have dance moves like crazy, but
absolutely.
Shakira,
not saying they're not talented.
She always just kind of sounds like she
does that
yodeling
that
in a way.
Yeah, weird yodel. Exactly what I was gonna say. The weird yodel. Yeah, it's kind of the same with Christina Aguilera. She just goes on those runs that it's impressive but not very listenable.
Yeah, in 1998, I liked that. 2020, not so much.
It's like if Mariah Carey already did it and no one's gonna do it smoother, back off. I mean, good on you for trying, but come on.
And hey, thank you for inspiring them, Michael Jackson. Do you guys know who played in that game? I had to look it up because I couldn't remember which Super Bowl. Obviously, it was 27. But
you're asking not a football guy, so I do not know.
I'm not a football guy either, but I just figured I'd throw it out there. Matthew, do you know?
I read it, but I don't remember. Yeah. I watched this game.
It was
it was Dallas Cowboys versus the Bills.
Yeah, that's right.
And the Cowboys slaughtered them 52-17. It is tied with Super Bowl 37 as the third highest scoring Super Bowl with 69 combined points.
Nice.
Ooh.
Jesus.
And on that note.
Yeah, I'm sure the Michael Jackson halftime show is great. I don't know if I've ever actually seen it, but looking at images of it, it's like, oh yeah, these are all iconic images of Michael Jackson that he also probably used in, stadium tours at the time, because it's got the bullet vest jacket and the flowy white, shirt with the wind machine.
Mm-hmm.
That shot makes me think of remember the song he did for Free Willy? Loved that song as a kid. And anytime I watched Free Willy as a kid, I made sure we didn't fast forward the Michael Jackson video because I liked the song so much.
The medleys consisting of Jam, with the beginning of Why You Want to Trip on Me.
Did he finish with Black or White?
Billie Jean and Black or White.
I would say this is like when Black or White came out.
Just come out.
Yeah, because that music video was fucking huge. I remember that as a kid in elementary school.
The finale featured an audience card stunt, a video montage showing Jackson participating in various humanitarian efforts around the world, and a choir of 3,500 local Los Angeles area children singing We Are the World.
Oh, wow.
Later joining Jackson as he sang his single Heal the World. Beautiful.
Yeah. I mean,
Brings a tear to my eye thinking
Yeah.
about it.
I don't have a whole lot to say. It's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
King of Pop.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's find out what happened at the Arco Arena. Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan welcome us as the logo comes on the screen, and they run down the card for us. And we head to our first match.
I had chills up my spine just hearing Gorilla's voice. It's getting fewer and further between as of late, and I couldn't be more excited that he's here.
That first match, the Beverly brothers of Beau and Blake,
You mean Bev 1 and Bev 2?
or you can call them that, versus the Steiner brothers of Rick and Scott. And if you can't tell the Beverly brothers apart, Beau is the one with no mustache.
All right.
I'll try and remember
Just for
that.
Future references. I'm not sure how long they stick around, but yeah. Steiner's, I mean, if you're going to start a show, Steiner brothers are going to get it going.
That's
Definitely.
right.
I do have to say, though, the Beverly Brothers music rocks harder than the Steiner Brothers funky music
I think
we
it's
were complaining
that
about.
other Steiner brothers song that we were kind of agreeing on recently that might be piped in, where it's the weird clown music.
Yeah,
So
definitely the weird clown music.
Did you guys notice who the referee for this match was?
Bill Alfonso.
It was Bill.
He's
Alfonso.
got a face you can't miss.
Good eye.
He feels like he shows up all over the place, but he's unmistakable.
I mean, this is the first time I think I've seen him in WWF.
Yeah.
Did the Steiners bring him with them?
He might have.
Do you think he had a whistle tucked in under his shirt?
Probably. So this match gets going with Scott and Beau starting it off with Steiner working him over, which Beverly is complaining that he is pulling his tights, which, sure. Beau comes back, slamming Scott down to the mat, only for Steiner to retaliate with a tilt-a-whirl slam, sending Beau out for a breather. Blake entices Rick to tag in and slams his head into a turnbuckle, hits a power slam, but misses a clothesline, goes for a leapfrog, only for Steiner to catch him and deliver a power slam of his own.
This is what the Steiners are here to do. Suplex the shit at you, slam the shit at you, and do it quickly.
Scott with a bear hug, followed by a belly-to-belly suplex, looks to hit the Tiger Driver, but Beau runs in with a clothesline to take down Steiner.
Like a good tag boy. A good Beverly brother.
That's right.
The Beverlys begin to work on Scott's back with multiple backbreakers, double axe handles, diving headbutts and forearms. Scott gets stuck in the corner, and Blake is strangling him with the tag rope.
I love that spot.
And then Beau hits a double underhook suplex. Snapmare and Boston Crab by Blake, while Beau comes in with an elbow drop to stop Scott's escape. Blake goes for a vertical suplex, but Scott blocks and reverses, starts to crawl to his corner, but Beau stomps on Steiner's back to stop the tag.
I love him coming in and hitting him in the face while he was in a Boston Crab. It was such a nasty, shitty thing to do.
Continuing the attack with head slams into a turnbuckle, Irish whips Hart into a corner,
Scott's taking it.
till Scott catches Beau telegraphing a back body drop. So he hits the Tiger Driver and makes his way to the corner for the hot tag.
It was a good hot tag too. It was executed well.
Rick's in with a back body drop and a released German suplex to Blake. Steiner line to Beau, sets Blake up on the top rope, only for Beau to hit him from behind. The Beverlys then Irish whip Rick and go for a double clothesline, which he ducks, and comes back off the ropes with multiple Steiner lines. Makes the cover, only for Beau to break it up, shoving Steiner back to the corner. Scott then rushes in, hitting Beau with mounted punches in a corner, when Blake comes from behind to put Steiner on his shoulders, allowing Beau to come off the top rope with a flying clothesline. But as he jumps, Scott ducks,
Oh my gosh.
pulls Blake over into a victory roll for a 2 count. Scott then tosses Blake to the ropes, hitting a Frankensteiner for the pin and the win.
That Frankensteiner looks disgusting.
Yeah,
I was like, did you I can't imagine that Homeboy was very happy after that.
let's just say Scott has started beefing up a little bit
Too much. And the
to
Beverly brothers
do
are
this league.
not small guys.
No.
So like it is it's rough. That being said, has to be the best Beverly Brothers match we're ever going to see.
I don't know. You guys really liked the last one that we saw in the
Feed
at the
me.
Survivor Series.
Feed me some more.
Apparently,
Or
you
you-
liked
you-
it that much.
I loved
You
it.
liked the Beverly Brothers in the match. I'm not saying that you liked the match.
Yeah. But I mean, with the Steiners, like, they're putting in the work. They're not looking weak. All their heel stuff is clean. Like, I think this is a solid ass match.
Well, I mean,
And the finish is fun.
you have a good match when you're not going 17 minutes with the Bushwhackers.
Yeah, that's not fair to the Beverly Brothers. The Bushwhackers,
Not even
who
the
cares
big-
if it's fair?
I can still hear Bobby Heenan in my head.
Oh, well, we do get our brain scan back.
Rip his earmuffs off!
But he actually only just does some real analysis of the match. He
Yeah, I
doesn't-
think
he
also
doesn't really
his-
make a joke about it.
Yeah.
No, I think his brain scan might have been a little. I think he might have made a
Yeah,
comment
he
about
had-
it not working too well.
Yeah, he said it was broken or something.
Or maybe he just didn't have a joke queued up.
But also, this is a theme of this show. I'm going to tell you right now.
Uh-oh.
This would be the last pay-per-view match for the Beverly Brothers.
Oh, hey, at least they went out with their best match.
I mean, seriously, if you're gonna go, I think that was a
Go with the
solid
smile.
way to go out. I mean, they might have just quit because homeboy, busted a
him on his
disc
head.
in his neck.
Gorilla then sends us to a video package, and we have Mean Gene narration where we see the Rockers running down to the ring. They hit some awesome tag team moves, but then Shawn super kicks Marty and sends him through that barber shop window.
We're setting it up. We're getting it. We're getting it, Shane.
Plate glass window.
We're getting the thing. The
thing
thing,
I've been
we
waiting
should
for
have
a year.
had.
Michaels is staring into a mirror that Sherri is holding in the ring when Jannetty would jump into the ring and attack Shawn. And Marty looks like he's going to go after Sherri, taking the mirror away from her to hit Michaels with it. When Shawn pulls Sherri in front of it for her to take the blow.
Boo.
And Michaels would run off to the locker room.
Sherry's the best.
So our second match.
I can't believe this is the second match. I guess we got a whole Royal Rumble, so, those are always at least an hour long.
Marty Jannetty versus Shawn Michaels for the WWF Intercontinental Championship with Sensational Sherri in a neutral corner.
Sherry's out first. Sherri looks sad.
But she also looks gorgeous.
Yes, of course.
Sensational, even.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of outfits, did Marty have someone crochet his out?
He's all tasseled up.
Way.
It's like,
much.
yeah, it's funny, but it's okay. It's too much.
It looks bad.
It's bad, but it's kind of like the first pass. It's like the black and white first pass for the Max Moon outfit.
Like, all I could think of really was the
Marty in black.
Weezer, if you want to destroy my sweater, I just wanted to start
yeah.
pulling a string so all that shit would just fall
Yeah,
away
it's like a white sweater.
with yarn hanging all over it.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Weird look.
So Shawn's inside the ring and he's inviting Sherri to come in, but she's just giving him the death stare.
Mm-hmm.
And the match gets going, and Michaels is talking smack to Marty. But Jannetty hits a big right hand, a face plant, Irish whip Shawn for his version of the flare flip, and followed by an inverted atomic drop and a knee lift that sends Michaels out to the floor. Marty then slingshots Shawn back in, only to clothesline him right back out,
Hell yeah, it's a good look.
followed by a really bad looking suicide dive.
Yes, not the greatest.
Hey,
He's been off for a while.
Marty being Marty.
Jannetty with a flying punch off the apron and goes up to the top rope for another, but Michaels catches him in the gut.
No.
Shawn runs Marty shoulder first into the ring post multiple times
Posted.
before rolling him back in, hitting a shoulder breaker, and continues to work over the shoulder, which Jannetty runs away to the outside to catch a breather. But Michaels follows out, hitting a body slam out on the floor. Once back in the ring, Shawn throws Marty shoulder first into a turnbuckle, a top rope axe handle across the shoulder, and locks on an armbar. Michaels continues to stay on the arm and shoulder until Jannetty catches him coming off the top rope with a boot to the chin. Shawn recovers the charge into the corner, but Marty is moved and he goes shoulder first into the ring post. The two men start brawling when Jannetty is thrown through the ropes out to the floor. And Michaels grabs Marty, dragging him up to the apron, goes for a vertical suplex, but Jannetty blocks and reverses, sending Shawn over and out to the floor.
The crowd goes wild. Everybody's loving, Shawn getting some.
Poetry in motion.
Mm-hmm.
Sherri comes over and it looks like she's going to check on Shawn, but she just slaps him.
We've got a bunch of Sherri cam throughout this so far, and she doesn't need to say anything because she's that damn good. Just all on her face.
Marty brings Shawn back into the ring with a bridging back suplex for a 2 count. Irish whips Michaels to the corner hard, flipping him out to the floor. Outside, Jannetty slams Shawn into the steel steps before bringing him back in, where he misses a clothesline, but hits a power slam and goes up top to come off. But notice that Michaels is up, so Marty just lands on his feet and grabs Shawn to hit a DDT for a near fall. Michaels is Irish whipped to the corner, where he floats up and over a charging Jannetty. Goes for the super kick, but Marty ducks and delivers one of his own for a 2 count.
That's what we all want.
Sunset flip by Shawn, only for Jannetty to drop onto his shoulders. But Michaels is able to pull him over, which Marty escapes and catapults Shawn into the turnbuckle head first, bouncing right back into a sit-out pin by Jannetty for a near fall. Back to their feet, Michaels goes to throw a punch, but his elbow knocks the ref down as he pulls back.
Yeah. And like, with the camera view and everything, it's pretty perfect, and that, like, Shawn in character knows exactly what he's doing, which is fucking magic.
Yep.
It's not that accidental shit. Like, it's camera's in the right place. Shawn Michaels is he is the full character and not just wrestler here.
Yep.
Marty locks Shawn in a full Nelson, allowing Sherri to come in, and she takes her shoe off, swings it, but Michaels ducks and Jannetty is knocked down.
No.
Shawn starts to threaten Sherri, but then stands Marty up to super kick him for the pin and the win. Post-match, Sherri goes running off to the back.
Oh, she's bawling when he approaches him before the end of the match, or when Shawn approaches her.
And Mean Gene catches up with Sherri in the back. He's trying to get an interview with her, only for Michaels to walk in. But then Jannetty comes running in and jumps on his back, and the two men are brawling until security can break them up. Unfortunately, Marty would not be seen again for a few months after this.
What a bummer. This is a great way to start. This is a trilogy. It's the beginning of a trilogy. This is our first act of what should be a beautiful film. I love that when Sherri runs back there and she's losing her shit, Mean Gene's there, and he sounds pretty harsh, but he just says, "Sherri, damn it, settle down, woman," or whatever. It's like, chill out, man. Like, he was a little extra harsh for Mean Gene, but it was a very good line delivery from Mean Gene Okerlund. Damn it, Marty. If I could only go back in time and, I don't know,
slap the stupid
steal
out
the
of
drugs from you, maybe like roofie you, put you to bed.
I'd be all for that. The world could be a different place now if Marty Jannetty had just said no.
I mean, same with Jake the Snake. There's so many casualties, but those are two of the big ones as far as like people that you feel like really could have done something big for a long time. Like just Jake behind the scenes and reasonably sober could have influenced the product a whole bunch potentially.
So we get our third match. Bam Bam Bigelow versus Big Boss Man.
This Bam Bam Bigelow song fucking slaps.
Yeah.
It's like 3 notes, like real slow. It's so good. It caught me off guard. And that's saying a lot considering the Big Boss Man, another like potential top 10 theme song.
So the last time we saw Bam Bam was at the WCW New Japan Super Show #1. all the way back in episode 55.
It's crazy. Bam Bam, weirdest career. He never stays anywhere, does he? He's like the Fat Dragon. Big Steamboat. Bam Bam Boat.
So Bigelow attacks from behind, hits an avalanche splash, and is beating down Bossman with forearms and multiple Irish whips to knock him out to the floor. Bam Bam follows out to slam Big Boss Man's head on the apron, but once back in the ring, Boss Man fires up with several clotheslines and shoulder blocks. Mounted punches in the corner from Big Boss Man, only for Bigelow to retaliate with a back suplex. Goes for a falling headbutt, which Boss Man avoids. Big Boss Man hits the face plant, charges in, only for Bam Bam to backdrop him over the ropes and to the floor. And Boss Man takes forever getting back into the ring.
I would say Boss Man takes forever to do anything.
I would have to agree on both of those.
I was always like, how is this not a 10 count?
Yeah, I had the same thing. I was like, well, I guess we just don't.
It's not the finish.
Big guys get 20 counts.
I'm not gonna lie, I think this is where I kept hitting the 10 seconds ahead.
Oh, you're not allowed to fast forward.
I've
never
all this
fast
shit
forwarded.
already.
Okay, I guess I digress. If I had seen this before, maybe, but I don't know.
I've done my
I don't
hard
know.
time. Sir.
Yeah, you did your hard time.
Bam Bam applies a waist lock and he's putting all of his weight on Big Boss Man. The Boss Man fights out, only for Bigelow to catch him with a flapjack onto the ropes. Now he's back to working on the back with the waist lock, and it literally feels like they're cuddling for about 3 minutes because they're like laying on the mat next to each other.
This is the bear match.
Only for Boss Man to fire up to break the hold. Reverse a vertical suplex, which there was no height because his back gave out as he was trying to lift him.
Yeah.
And Bam Bam is up first to hit a leaping headbutt. Bigelow, with more headbutts, goes for a crossbody, but Big Boss Man ducks, allowing him to get on the offense with a back body drop, some roundhouse rights, and charges into a corner, only to receive a big boot and a clothesline from Bam Bam. Bigelow goes up to the top and hits a diving headbutt for the pin and the win.
Good to see Bam Bam pick up a win here.
Agreed.
Might be because this would be Big Boss Man's last WWF match for about 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Shucks.
Until he comes back and is just like the crony. Oh, I guess before he gets hung by The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he becomes kind of just... Seems like he didn't have a whole lot of
He
matches.
becomes the first Shield member
Huh, where does he go?
because he's wearing the vest.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
yeah.
what?
That's the Boss Man that I remember the most. It's like, oh, he's just there.
Yeah, I think he comes back and he's no longer Big Boss Man. He's just Boss
Man, yeah, for sure. Where does he go? Or were we going to find out?
You'll just
You'll
have to wait.
just have to wait.
He's going to go back to WCW and terrorize Jim Cornette. I guess we haven't seen Jimmy C in a while either.
Gorilla then throws it to a video package, and we see Owen Hart being interviewed on WWF Mania when Razor Ramon attacks him. We then come back to Monsoon and Bobby talking about Ramon, and then it throws it to an interview of Razor at a Sacramento Kings game from the night before with Raymond Rougeau.
I noticed that. It was like, oh, that's what he's doing. I thought it was cool that they did a promo at a Kings game like a day ahead of time. I don't know why. It's just kind of a nice touch. Yeah. I assume that they did like a halftime thing or something. I don't know what they could have done.
Up in a suite.
I guess already there. They're like, oh, I guess we'll shoot this promo while we're up here watching the game.
And we haven't seen Raymond Rougeau since Royal Rumble 1990. Back in episode 41.
Aw, welcome home, Ray.
Yeah, I like the Rougeaus.
We then get Mean Gene with Bret Hart in the back. And Bret says, "This is way beyond a title match. He crossed the line. It's a personal thing. It's a family thing. And it's blood.
If you want blood, we got it."
So we got our fourth match. Razor Ramon versus Bret the Hitman Hart for the WWF Championship. And who is at ringside?
Oh, you know who's at ringside. Stu and Helen.
Stu and Helen are there for us.
Fresh out the dungeon.
Bret goes to give his shades to a young fan.
Mm-hmm.
But once he's back in the ring, Razor then walks over and tosses his toothpick at the same kid.
Lucky little fucker. Gets everything.
I hope he didn't keep that toothpick. That's disgusting.
Hitman goes...
You could build a modern day Razor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there we
Jurassic
go.
Park powers.
Mm-hmm.
Hitman goes on the attack, angered by Ramon's actions, but it backfires as Razor uses his size to take control.
With big knees. Razor Ramon is so big and hot. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy that, like, we all know what Scott Hall looks like now, but I just always forget how tall and handsome he is. He is a gigantic man.
He was very much a looker.
Yes, for sure. And he makes Bret just not look very imposing.
No.
Irish whip by Ramon charges in with a leaping knee, but Hart moves and starts working over the leg, including applying a figure 4, only for Razor to make it to the ropes to break the hold.
Jaw pop for that figure 4?
I was
excited.
I was surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, I didn't, like, jump out of my seat, but I was just like, oh, shit, figure 4? This early in the match?
Back to the leg by Bret, slamming it against the ring post. Goes for an Irish whip that Ramon reverses and sends Hitman chest first into the ring post.
And Bret's just picking him apart real quick here.
Razor with multiple backbreakers on the floor and then runs him back first into the ring post before rolling Hart back into the ring. Elbow drops, fall away slam, whips Bret chest first into the turnbuckle. Ramon then locks on an ab stretch, still working the back.
And what we've got here is a limb versus limb match, which I am super into. This Bret on the leg, of course, for the sharpshooter, and Razor for the ribs. I guess it kind of makes sense with the Razor's edge. Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, it's not quite the same, but, I mean, you know.
I mean, after just slamming him chest first.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I just did my biggest damage. Let's work this.
Yep.
Hitman fires up to reverse the hold, but is hip tossed off, and Razor tries for an elbow drop, only for Hart to move. But Ramon with a faceplant misses a back elbow, and Hart comes off the ropes with a crossbody for a 2 count. Bret's out on the apron and comes back in with a sunset flip, but Razor just sits down on his shoulders, only for Hitman to pull him over for a near fall.
And I love that 2 count. Razor pushes Bret off, but he pushes him off so forcefully that Bret flies to the apron. It's those little things, man.
Ramon goes back to work on the back with a camel clutch, a bear hug, only for Hart to break the hold by biting Razor.
And he can, because he attacked his brother. And it checks out.
And that's kind of becoming his trademark, is biting. Are Canadians biters? I mean, they're supposed to be a friendly people who say, you know, I'm sorry for everything, but do they just all of a sudden snap and just like...
Everybody's got a breaking point.
Everybody's got a price.
Bret backbody drops Ramon out to the floor, following out with a tope suicido, then running his head into the steel steps before bringing Razor back into the ring. Mounted punches, inverted atomic drop, a clothesline, and a backbreaker by Hitman. Hits a second rope flying clothesline and a bulldog for 2 counts. Gorilla keeps wondering why Hart's not going for the sharpshooter, and Heenan says it's because Ramon's legs are too long.
Pretty big.
Bret then hits a Russian leg sweep and goes for the sharpshooter.
You spoke too soon, Mr. Monsoon.
Only for Razor to crawl immediately to the ropes. But Hitman pulls him off and looks to apply the submission. But guess what? Ramon's legs are indeed too long, and he can't turn him over.
What?
Razor's back to his feet with right hands and forearms to the back of Hart. Sets him up on the top rope, but a back elbow from Bret knocks Ramon down, allowing Hitman to flip over his back and hit a back suplex.
Beautiful little spot.
Hart goes for the second rope, elbow drop, but Razor gets a boot up into the chin. And the bad guy calls for the Razor's edge.
No.
But Bret wiggles free, backsliding Ramon for a near fall. Hard Irish whips and a test of strength by Razor, but Hitman counters it into a pin so unique that the ref doesn't even realize it for a moment.
It's a crazy pin. It's awesome. It looks cool as hell.
So only a 2 count. They're both lying on the mat, and Hart intertwines their legs into the sharpshooter, rolls him over for the submission, and the win.
What a finish.
His legs weren't too long.
He just needed to get it deeper, man.
Yeah.
Silly girl.
I love Razor's stumble. You know, when he's selling, it's good. He's got a good stumble. There's a lot to like here.
Agreed.
Even what is it? The ref bump looks good. The way he like pulls his leg. It's like it doesn't. Not most ref bumps don't look good.
No. I forgot how pleasant it was watching Scott Hall as Razor Ramon back in the Razor Ramon days. Just in comparison to the shit show he becomes, 4 or 5 years from now, where he could actually move in the ring and do stuff and put on a match instead of half-assing and dragging his way through it because he's too fucked up on something to.
Everybody's got demons, but I mean, Bret Hart is taking him through this match, but he's meeting him every step of the way. It's like he's firing on all the cylinders he has, but we all know who's behind this.
And see, specifically, I remember the poster for this Rumble. Just the picture, it's a half face of each of them on the cover. And yeah, that's one of the graphics that stood out over time as, it's a simple poster or graphic, whatever, but just the two of them, they just have a commanding something about them that it pulls you in.
Yeah, it's not they have more presence than your Earthquake Hogan poster or King Kong Bundy Hogan poster. It's like, look at these guys. Mm-hmm. Like, they're people you actually want to look at.
And going off of kind of what you had said, the Razor is at his most handsomest at that time, and Hitman is still in his pretty boy phase as well too. So you got,
and we have a working champion that can wrestle as well, and wants to give the fans a wrestling match, not a it's not vitamin eating, fish shaking, bootleg drop bullshit. It's a fucking wrestling match.
As the match ends, Heenan leaves the announce table and heads off to the arena floor.
Don't do it to us, Heenan.
All right.
The Brain has a mic, and he introduces the Narcissist.
The Narcissus. Or did they add the T finally? I don't know. All I'm saying is it should just be the Narcissist.
And it's Lex Luger.
Oh my god. And you know what is great about this?
His non-compete finally ran out, so he can be there.
No, they lift the curtain, and he's standing, not facing the crowd, but instead there's 3 mirrors surrounding him. He's wearing all silver, just taking himself in, like the Narcissus he is.
The last time we saw Lex Luger was at Super Brawl 2, which was episode 67. But like you said, he's checking his body out.
Yeah, he's been on that Ico Pro.
Because he's a narcissist. With Bobby as his hype man for way too long.
Yeah, Bobby's just getting real horny.
Remember
talking
when I said
about him for a real long time.
The first Raw that I was embarrassed for Bobby's promo?
Yeah.
I would much rather watch that one all day long than this.
Yeah, this was tough to watch.
Yeah, it goes on, and Bobby just being so horny for Lex for such an extended amount of time is just what are we getting here?
It's like they wiped out Sherri and gave her personality to Bobby to have him fawn over Lex.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we all love Bobby, if Sherri wasn't booked up, this would have worked better with her.
Yeah. Have her leave Shawn, go to the Narcissist, and then the 2 pretty boy narcissists can fight each other for her.
Luger does have this line when he finally does cut a promo.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to talk. It took a while.
There's good reason.
I mean, yeah.
I will be the most dominant force that the WWF has ever seen. I am the most mesomorphically magnificent physical specimen beyond perfection.
Such a
Yeah,
Such
I have
a
the
narcissist thing to
mesomorphic
say.
like. Who gave you this
What?
line?
Yeah, mesomorphically.
Like,
And then we're back to Bobby on his knees as the curtain starts to fall. Mm-hmm. This whole thing was just stupid. I can't even think of a better
I think
word
it
to
could have
use
been
for it.
okay if it was a little bit shorter.
It's a smidge better than the gobbledygook.
But you know what? The Gooker had Mean Gene trying to make it funny, and he could dance.
I'm pro Gook.
Yeah.
In hindsight, of course.
In this sense, I'm very much for the Gooker over the narcissist.
The Gooker's at least funny. I mean, I don't know.
Hey, the Gooker's a Guerrero.
He said
I'm okay with
mesomorphically.
Hey, man, it's all
Two sides of a coin.
it's all made up anyway. So let's make up our own words. He's the narcissist. They even took a letter off of a word to make a word that's not real.
Howard Finkel then announces Caesar and Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Exactly who would I expect to walk out after the narcissist is done.
And these two are basically just a walking promo for
WrestleMania
9, which will be in Las Vegas, as Caesar reads a scroll to invite everyone to come to WrestleMania 9.
But you know what? Would you rather have Caesar read this scroll or leap in Lanny Poffo himself, the genius? A scroll that we're never happy to
I
see.
never want a scroll of any kind.
How do you feel about lists?
Lists are okay.
Okay.
So we're to our 5th match, the Royal Rumble,
The whole damn thing.
with the winner of the match getting to face the WWF champion at WrestleMania 9.
An idea that took 6 years to pop into someone's head.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they should have done for the first 5 years? Give him a ring!
Something. Where's their funky, I don't know.
Trophy. Trophy. A ring. Rings are cool.
Either one, that'd be good. But our first entrant of the Royal Rumble is the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Woo.
Back at the beginning all over again.
I know.
He was number 3 last year, sir.
Hey,
Yeah.
close enough.
But it's one of those things where it's like Ric Flair's number 1. What are the chances of him winning? And why would you not want to see Ric Flair versus Bret Hart? I was like, wouldn't that just be a real fun thing to do?
Apparently they don't want you to see
Ric Flair
versus
do much
Bret
of
Hart.
anything, honestly, in the WWF.
And
When he gets his moments, he has they're good, but they don't give him a lot of them.
And number 2 is Bob Backlund.
Excuse me? I was very caught off guard by this.
Mm-hmm. You want to know what I was most caught off guard for?
What?
I found out that I am the same age right now that Bob Backlund was in this Rumble.
I couldn't believe that. They said his age, and I was like, Bob Backlund looks great for his age. He's in great shape. He doesn't even look that old. He's got quite the boyish face anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, damn, like...
Oh, howdy doody himself.
And, as this starts, we realize Bob Backlund can still go.
Well, Bob Backlund is a professional wrestling, WWE, and Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Famer.
And I can't believe this is the first time we've seen him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the WWF champion for, 5 years?
Yep.
For quite some time.
Yeah. And it
was before the pay-per-view era.
Yeah,
so-
definitely. But this made me want to see some Backlund because I think that he is really good here, especially working with Flair. And I do like some of his goofy stuff that he did a million times in MSG. And yeah, I'm intrigued by Backlund. A name that I've known forever, a face that I've seen, but somebody that I need to know more about now.
Remember you said that.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, I'm probably going to regret it, but I'm talking about, a decade ago. I want to see that.
Well, again, remember you said that.
I mean...
Backlund goes for the handshake, but Flair kind of does the psych,
Yes.
waving and wooing at him. Monsoon makes a prediction that neither one of these will be there at the end.
Safe bet.
Bob then hits a back body drop and an atomic drop before number 3 comes in, which is Papa Shango.
Boop, boop. That's my train horn.
Papa slams Backlund's head into a turnbuckle, attempts to lift him over the ropes when Nate comes from behind to dump Shango over. And Papa Shango is eliminated. And this would be the last time we see this gimmick on pay-per-view.
Oh, nuts.
Shango, quite a look, not a lot of legacy.
Didn't even make it a full year.
Nature Boy then tosses Bob over, but he only goes to the apron before rolling back in. And then a chop fest breaks out between the two men.
Yeehaw.
Number 4 is $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase.
Bring it on, brother.
With
Ted.
Jimmy Hart.
Exactly. A back elbow to Backlund that forces Bob to be strung up in the ropes, allowing Flair and $1 Million Man to double team him. A double team back elbow on Bob in the attempt to toss him out, but Backlund falls against the ropes to stop his momentum. Number 5 is Brian Knobbs, one half of the Nasty Boys. Knobbs rolls in and is met immediately by the Nature Boy and DiBiase, who attempt a double clothesline. But Brian ducks and returns off the ropes with a double clothesline of his own. The Nasty Boy is laying them both out with punches, a double noggin knocker, and tosses Flair over the ropes, but he only lands on the apron and follows that with an elbow drop on $1 Million Man. Nate rolls back in to hit Knobbs from behind, while Backlund attacks the Nature Boy as well. Bob then with mounted punches on Flair and a pit stop by Brian on DiBiase.
What's the pit stop?
Rubs his face in his armpit.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Number 6 is Virgil.
Hell yeah. Virgil still gets like a pop. The crowd still likes to see Virgil do stuff.
Yeah, the same crowd cheered for the Bushwhackers for years too, so I'm not going to listen to those people.
Don't put Virgil next to the Bushwhackers like that. Virgil is charming and not necessarily fun, but I'm not mad at him.
Virgil still has a job.
You think I'm okay with that. The Bushwhackers do nothing for me. Virgil warms my little heart. Even though I don't want it all the time.
Somebody's got to like him.
DiBiase hits Virgil with a double axe handle as he enters, tosses him to the ropes, but Virgil slides underneath him, hitting an atomic drop, laying in the jabs before delivering a clothesline. Knobbs and Virgil with the double back body drop on DiBiase, and the Nasty Boy goes for a clothesline on $1 Million Man, but he ducks and pulls down the ropes, sending Knobbs flying over to the floor. Brian Knobbs is eliminated, and this would be his final pay-per-view match for the WWF.
Oh, nuts.
Did the Nasty Boys do the thing they did earlier where they swapped trajectories with the Steiners? It was like, oh, cool, like maybe we'll get a nasty team for the Steiners, and then they...
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah, it's like, all right, this is just wrestling, man.
Number 7 is Jerry the King Lawler.
I know, I was surprised for this too.
Last time we saw him was at AWA Super Clash 3, all the way back in episode 23.
Oh, I was going to guess 27. Sometimes it's hard to tell. We do so many of these.
Flair goes after the King, but Lawler gets the best of him, so Nate rolls under the ropes to get a breather. Number 8, Max Moon.
Hell yeah.
Moon's in with a drop kick on the King, a back body drop on the Nature Boy, but Flair retaliates with a knee lift, tossing Max over the ropes, but he skins the cat.
He sure does.
Coming back in to brawl some more with Nate. A spinning kick into the corner by Moon on Lawler, and he tries for a second one, but the King ducks and Max goes over the ropes and to the floor. And Max Moon is eliminated.
Well, he skinned the cat the first time. He should have scaled the moon the second.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember this elimination. A spinning kick.
Jerry was in the corner and he does the spinning kick into him, goes for it again, and Jerry just literally ducks and he kicks and he jumps high enough that he literally just jumps over the ropes.
Yeah, not the most memorable of eliminations. No. Probably why I didn't remember. Bob Backlund does this weird thigh stomp thing, which is very awkward, and I haven't seen anybody do it before. Normally they would hit the inside of the thighs while somebody's on their back. and you got their like legs up or whatever, but he like does some weird thing to like the side outside of their thigh, and it's
Charlie Horse, man.
It's a real weird one.
Number 9 is Genichiro Tenryu,
Oh my god.
who we haven't seen since WrestleMania 7.
And he gets no reaction from the crowd. I think everybody decided to stop talking for a full minute as he walked to the ring.
Tenryu and Flair have a chop fest, leading to a Flair flop.
And that flare flop is in like reverse. Like he's like walking backwards as he does it. It was a weird flare flop.
Oh yeah,
it was very
does it
funny
every now and then.
Yeah, it's like all right. I got a chuckle out of it.
Hit tossed by Virgil on the King. $1 Million Man slams Genichiro's head into a turnbuckle. The Nature Boy tosses Virgil over the ropes to the apron, but then brings him back in with a slingshot.
He likes Virgil too.
He must be a Virgil
Birds
fan.
of a feather.
I'm not finished with you.
Monsoon says he wishes he had a running clock so he knew how long some of these people had been out there. And I literally shouted out, over 18, because number 10 is about to come out. As number 10 comes out, it's Mr. Perfect. And he then starts losing his mind.
Oh, of course he
as
does.
he runs down to the ring.
He feels the flashbacks of the icy drip of that cold water from a board meeting. What was that even? You remember where Mr. Perfect pours the water on him?
That was primetime wrestling.
But just the setup for that interview segment or whatever was very funny. It seemed like they were, about to go over numbers.
Nature Boy and Perfect are going after each other. A knee lift and a head slam into a turnbuckle by Perfect. But an eye rake allows Flair to go up to the top rope, only to be press slammed off.
I love that at this point there's some more people in the ring, but Tenryu just doesn't really know what to do, so he's just kind of like standing in the corner for a minute. He's like, and where do I fit in here? Just kind of like sussing it all
Where's
out.
Demolition?
I also love his weird his weird haircut. He's got like a Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath like bob. But I thought it was funny where he was just like, all right, what do I do? This is not how we typically do things in Japan.
And we're told that Flair and Perfect have a loser leaves town match the next night on Raw.
Ooh.
I'm sure you can all figure out who the winner of that match was.
We might need to cover that match.
You just like doing the 1 hour ones.
Well,
Sometimes I do too.
That one I won't talk about it right now because we're talking about this show.
Yeah.
That one has an oddity about it.
Number 11 comes out.
Is that the beginning of the oddities?
No.
Okay, just check.
And it's Skinner, who we haven't seen since WrestleMania 8.
Yeah, I said boo, and the crowd said nothing.
No.
Nate goes for a clothesline, but Perfect ducks and hits one of his own to send the Nature Boy over the ropes and to the floor. Ric Flair is eliminated, and we won't see him in the WWF again for 9 years.
Yeah. Well, on that note, then I'll just go ahead and say that the next night on Raw, they have their career versus career match, and Mr. Perfect wins. But the pin comes during a commercial break, so the audience at home missed it.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I'm sure Flair was like, "You're not pinning me on TV, but I'm gonna go."
That's the reason why we're not watching.
Yeah, exactly. But that's
of all the
hopefully,
what the fuck moments to happen on TV. That was what the hell happened?
I view this as a relief. I want Flair back home.
Yeah.
Send the man home.
But again, I want Mr. Perfect to get that bump.
I mean, I would have liked to. I would
get the pin during a commercial break. Damn it.
I can
Still
understand
doesn't have
that
a
for
Survivor
sure. But
Series
at the same time, like Rick's about to go back home. He can't be taking a pin on Raw. I mean, he could have, but
if he could bring the other company's belt with him,
I get it.
He can take a pin on his last match on camera.
Number 12 is Coco Beware with his really high pants.
Welcome back, Coco.
Headbutts by the Birdman on Tenryu. Mounted punches on Lawler. Perfect tosses Skinner over the ropes, only for the Alligator Man to skin the cat.
Skinner skins.
But Perfect sees this and drop kicks him back over to the floor.
That was a wonderful little spot.
And Skinner is eliminated, and this would be the last time we see him
I was about to make that joke, but you were too quick for me.
as Skinner.
Oh, okay, as Skinner.
What was your joke gonna be?
Oh, just this will be the last time because I just had a feeling. I don't really know. I had no idea, but I could feel it.
Number 13 is Samu, one half of the Head Shrinkers, and he's dragged out by the ear by Alpha.
Damn, Alpha. What the hell?
Samu with headbutts to Virgil and Perfect. Then Coco gives him one before stomping on his bare feet. DiBiase with a knee lift to Virgil, and the King with a DDT on Perfect. Number 14 is the Berserker.
Berserker.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. I was like, why does that sound so familiar? From a movie I've seen a handful of times, to say the least.
Lawler charges in with a clothesline, but Perfect back body drops him over the ropes and to the floor. And Jerry the King Lawler is eliminated. And we will continue to see him for the next 28 years.
Yes. Not going anywhere.
DiBiase and Tenryu then toss Perfect over the ropes to the apron, and the King helps pull him down from the outside.
Dick.
So Mr. Perfect is eliminated.
Dick.
We hate to see it.
Lawler and Perfect then start brawling on the outside until the refs can break it up. Number 15. Actually, before we move on to number 15.
Yes.
So, who is in the ring that has any chance of winning this?
Nobody. Around the time that...
Got the Berserker in there.
Is
Coco Beware.
Is Bob Backlund the most well-known person that's in this ring at this point?
He's the most like tenured.
Flip through my sheet here.
He's the only person that's like a champion, or has champion material.
I guess DiBiase, maybe.
Yeah,
but
we know DiBiase. We know
they're not going to do anything with DiBiase
because they never have. They only started it.
Owe it to him after having him run into the Royal Rumble last year, only to be eliminated in like 6 seconds. But still haven't forgotten about that.
Around the time Skinner comes in, I'm just like, all right, this is dragging, and then it picks up for a second because of the spot that Skinner goes out on, and there's like the action picks up a little bit. Taker comes out.
Number 15, The Undertaker with Paul Bearer. Samu attacks Taker as he gets into the ring, while Berserker and Backlund go out to the floor through the ropes. So Berserker hits him multiple times with a chair.
Ooh, I know, chair shot's crazy. Of course, Taker gets a big old dang pop.
Mm-hmm. The dead man then choke slams Samu over the ropes and to the floor. Mm-hmm. So Samu is eliminated. Berserker is pulled up the mat from around the ring and body slams Bob onto it.
I know, Berserker's going in. I'm like, who knew?
What kind of beef did Berserker have with Bob Backlund?
Maybe Bob just wanted to make a splash, get known. Get renowned. In these times, he's been off TV for so long. He was like, there's no way I'm going out there and jobbing to Hogan. I'm just going to go hang out with my kids.
Tenryu hits an enziguri on The Undertaker and charges in with a clothesline, but Taker back body drops him over to the floor. And Genichiro Tenryu is eliminated.
I know it feels weird anytime at this point that we get of note Japanese guys in the WWF because like WCW has that strong relationship that it's just it's kind of weird. Like the last thing I expected was a Japanese wrestler that I know by name to come out.
Then WWF tries it and they just don't get the reaction like whatsoever. Because they do absolutely nothing with any other company and then bring people in and expect them to make a splash. Ugh.
Whereas Muta lost 3 times on television, comes back a couple years later, still to pops. Granted that it is in one of the bigger wrestling towns, of like smart fans and stuff, but they're Muta crazy. They're missed maniacs.
Berserker's back in the ring, and the Irish whips Coco to the corner and charges in, but Ware moves. So the Berserker goes shoulder first into the turnbuckle. Number 16 is Terrific Terry Taylor.
Oh, is he really terrific now? I mean, I like Terry Taylor, but I didn't mean to sound shitty. But is that what they're billing him as?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen him since Beach Blast 92, all the way back in episode 70.
Was he the Tailor-Made Man then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the Tailor-Made Man. I like the York Foundation. It's just kind of weird that it started and then it was never like a strong faction. It was like an idea, but they never really pulled it off quite like I would have enjoyed.
But they built people.
Yeah.
Taylor and Coco start going at each other, with Taylor trying for a suplex, only for Ware to float over and attempt to push Terry over the ropes. But then the $1 Million Man comes from behind and pushes them both over. And Terry Taylor and Coco Beware are eliminated. And this would be the last pay-per-view match for Coco Beware.
You know what grinds my gears? I spent all that time with Terry Taylor in WCW. Each time I saw him, or I should say the next time I saw him, and then the next time, he got better and better. His looks improved. His in-ring capability improved. His mic skills improved. And then he leaves there, and he comes back over here, and they instantly put him in almost the exact same costume that he wore as the fucking Red Rooster, cut his hair, bleached it down.
Yeah,
Instantly
bury him
back
like
to
a
where he
fucking
was.
dick in the dirt.
And I know he came back just for a paycheck, but good fucking lord.
It's not like you couldn't. You can do something with him because he can do stuff.
Yeah. I mean, he went to another company and became their version of the $1 Million Man, which I can understand why they have $1 Million Man eliminate him here. But it's like, hey, come on back. You know, we need somebody to, I don't know,
Take over for Coco
Slap
Beware because
Coco.
he's no longer
Yeah.
going to be here. The dead man would then choke slam DiBiase before clotheslining him over the ropes. And $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase is eliminated.
And I'm not even as angry this time as I was the last time because he at least got to come in there and do something. But
And hold on, guys.
motherfucker.
The show's about to come to a complete halt. I'll get to it.
Undertaker and Berserker are battling when a giant
Oh my
comes
God.
down to the ring in an Ultimate Warrior bodysuit
What could
covered
it
with
be?
fur
Who could it be?
with Harvey Whippleman.
Oh, that's a sign of a badass right there.
Taker then
And by giant, you mean elegante.
Huge. Well, he doesn't have a name. What is his name? Who is this man?
He's the giant.
he's just a giant.
Yeah.
I don't know what his name is.
They had no name.
He's the giant with no name.
Taker back body drops Berserker over the ropes into the floor. And the Berserker is eliminated, and this is his last pay-per-view match in WWF.
They're really. This is like
And he
just
lasted longer than Terry Taylor.
a mass firing. It's pretty incredible. There's a real wild shot of El Gigante's
Who?
taint. The homunculus. That's what I'm gonna assume his name is.
Number 17 is Damien Demento. We see the Giant and the Dead Man. The Giant and the Dead Man keep taking steps towards each other, sizing each other up.
And just saying, the big man is looking really big next to Taker.
Yeah.
The Giant chops Taker so hard that he goes flying over the top rope.
Oh no!
And the Undertaker is eliminated.
My
Bull
God.
jive.
Taker then just keeps being attacked by the Giant on the outside, sending him into steel steps, rolls him back into the ring just so he can chokeslam the Dead Man.
The Yeti is payback for, old UT, the Taker, putting Kamala in the casket.
And by the way, Demento still has not gotten into the ring at this point.
Finally, somebody smart.
Number 18 is Erwin R. Shyster with Jimmy Hart. The Giant is continuing to ram Undertaker's legs into the ring post
I smell a feud.
until the officials finally get him to go back to the locker room. The Giant, of course,
I'm sorry.
is
But
Giant Gonzalez, who we haven't seen since WCW New Japan Super Show 2
his proudest moment.
as El Gigante.
The only time I was happy to see him, just because I felt so good for him to get that pop of 60,000 people.
All of a sudden, Demento and IRS jump in the ring and start attacking Backlund, who has finally made his way back into the ring.
Y'all leave Opie alone.
Number 19 is Tatanka.
This is where I start to get tapped out.
So right now we have Demento,
Tapping out.
IRS, Backlund, and Tatanka in the ring.
So Yeti's not even a contestant, is he? Homunculus.
Giant Gonzalez?
Yeah.
No, he's not. He just came out to...
It's very confusing.
To attack
I'm
the
trying
Undertaker.
to number this, and I've got like question marks next to numbers. This guy, what number is this?
Taker's still laid out on the apron until Bear comes out with the urn to give him the power to rise up and head back to the locker room.
I love that.
That's my dude, Paul.
The Taker's... this may be his best come back to life moment yet with the urn. He springs up nicely. Probably because he didn't have to do a lot. Not real worn out quite yet.
Well, here comes number 20, another big contender for the belt.
You know it.
Oh my
The
god.
other half of the Nasty Boys, Jerry Sags.
I love that, like, he walks out as Undertaker's walking by. He just kind of looks at him.
Tatanka with mounted punches on IRS, only for him to escape with an inverted atomic drop. Sags hits an inverted atomic drop as well, and multiple clotheslines on Shyster. Number 21 is Typhoon, one half of the Natural Disasters. He hits an avalanche splash, shoulder blocks, and chokes on Demento. Number 22 is the other half of the Head Shrinkers, Fatu, who's also dragged to the ring by his ears by Alpha.
Yeah, this Bobby Heenan, when Typhoon comes out, he calls him Tugboat, and then he calls him Typhoon, and then he calls him Tugfoon, and I thought that was very funny that he, slipped up and turned it into a fun little mix 'em up.
Fatu goes around the ring head-butting everybody until Sags fights back with a headbutt of his own to no avail. Backlund with a double noggin knocker on IRS and Demento. And number 23 is Earthquake. Now, before I move forward, was the Natural Disasters having issues at this time that you know of? I could not find anything.
Let us know, Shane,
I
because
don't
I thought this was
remember.
weird as well.
Trying to remember.
I imagine if they were, it probably didn't ever pay off.
I can't recall, honestly.
Because Earthquake goes right after Typhoon.
It's not even like, oh, there's only a couple people left. Like, in this situation, if there's only 2 people left in the ring, like if they cleared house and then they have the moment where they like stare each other down, granted, they're not as high up on the card or whatever as they were a year or so ago, or 2 years ago, even it feels like at this point, then you could have that fun moment. But it just seems kind of weird here.
I'm trying to remember if they had anything going on.
I'm going to say that
had their
they
feud
probably
with-
didn't.
No.
Because the 2 men are hitting clotheslines on each other. Typhoon hits his avalanche splash and goes for a second one. But Quake ducks and Typhoon goes over the ropes and to the floor. Typhoon's eliminated and will be the last time we see him in a WWF ring for about 8 years. So I almost wonder if Typhoon just kind of sprung it on WWF that, hey, I'm leaving. And they were like, well, here's your punishment. Earthquake, your partner, is going to show you out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Backlund and Demento are running each other into turnbuckles. And number 24 is Carlos Colon, who we haven't seen since Starrcade 1983, episode
number 1. That's crazy.
Do you remember who he faced in episode 1?
No clue.
I do not.
Abdullah the Butcher.
Oh, Abby. Carlos Colon looks pretty young.
He is not young.
I
at
know,
all.
but he's
Even though Gorilla calls him youngster.
yeah.
He is not.
I know he's
that.
not.
Cologne backbody drops Demento over the ropes, and Demento is eliminated, and we can say goodbye to him as well, as we will never see him again.
He becomes a, bit part actor.
Yeah. Die Hard with a Vengeance. Check it out.
Number 25,
If you haven't seen Die Hard, you should probably watch a couple Die Hard movies.
El Matador Tito Santana.
Ariba, baby.
Backlund moves out of the way of a
Reba's his sister.
Backlund moves out of the way
Thanks,
of a
Bobby.
Fatu clothesline that sends him over the ropes, and Fatu is eliminated.
And this, no? Okay.
Earthquake slams Tito's head into the turnbuckle, and then Cologne slams Quake's head into the turnbuckle. Earthquake with a bunch of elbows to Carlos has him all the way over the ropes, but somehow Colon holds on and rolls back into the ring. Number 26, Rick the Model Martel. And the model goes right after El Matador.
Of course.
In the feud that just won't end.
I know. I'm not so mad at this feud. I'm just mad that it didn't ever get a spot on the card.
Yeah, see, if we had more feuds like this where they didn't spend 4 years actually feuding, they just, one or two times throughout the year, I'll be in the same spot as you, and I'm going to, attack you, and then we're not going to see each other again for 6 months.
What if the two men were both scared that they would just get canned, so they just, like, every once in a while, like, suggest in the back that they could, come across each other at some point, just so they, like, kind of have something to do whenever it starts to cool off.
But this feud has been going on since WrestleMania 5, all the way back in episode 28.
Yeah.
Santana gets the advantage, slamming Martel's head into a turnbuckle multiple times. IRS has Quake staggered on the ropes and goes for a clothesline, but Earthquake ducks and Shyster goes flying over the ropes. And IRS is eliminated.
No taxes this year.
Sorry, buddy.
Tito with a big right hand sends Backlund over the ropes, but he holds on and rolls back in, while Sags is dumped over by Quake. But he lands on the steel steps and comes back in as well.
Is that the first time we've got, like, the beginning of the goofy rules?
It was a complete I don't think he was supposed to go over. He just accidentally did.
That makes more sense.
Number 27 is Yokozuna with Mr. Fuji.
Damn.
Heenan says he probably weighs more than 500 pounds by now, with all the rice and sushi Fuji has been feeding him.
Sounds like a pretty good time, Yoko.
Tatanka attempts to take on Yoko, only to be tossed over the ropes, and Tatanka is eliminated.
Quick work.
Colon then goes after Yokozuna, only to be tossed as well, when he lands on the apron, momentarily, but Yoko with a big right hand knocks him off to the floor. And Carlos Colon is eliminated, and he never wrestles in a major American promotion again.
Well, instead, he
just stays in Puerto Rico for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And sends his kids our way instead.
Earthquake points at Yoko, and the two big men face off. Quake goes for multiple shoulder blocks that don't even phase Yokozuna. Number
Come on,
28.
Yoko, you can sell a little bit for Earthquake. Tenta's a big boy and an actual sumo wrestler.
Number 28 is Owen Hart. Earthquake with multiple clotheslines, an avalanche splash, tries for a second one, only for Yoko to move and belly-to-belly suplex Quake over the ropes.
Woo-wee.
Earthquake
Not
is eliminated.
the best belly-to-belly. Pretty sloppy here, but two big boys, it gets rough.
Picking up that guy and lifting him over the ropes.
Not mad. It was just kind of funny and also kind of scary. You're like, ooh. when these guys fall, they fall.
Now, El Matador is trying his luck with Yokozuna, only for him to be tossed out. But Tito holds on.
Nice job, Chico.
Number 29
Tito
is
always
Repo
holds
Man.
on.
Everybody's brawling until everyone just decides to team up and trying to eliminate Yoko. But he starts firing right hands to knock everybody off. So then they just go back to brawling with each other.
Oh, he got us. We're done.
Bobby Heenan has this horrible line about Yokozuna.
Uh-oh.
It looks like puppies at feeding time. Like when they all attack Yokozuna. I'm like, horrible, disgusting, rough fucking thing to say here, Bobby.
As true as it may be.
Number 30 is Macho Man Randy Savage.
Woo! Very excited about this, but I was very excited because I wasn't sure if our big furry bikini boy was part of the Rumble or not. So, like, for a second there, I thought that Repo Man may have been 30, and I was like, oh, so we're saving the best for last? Like, all right. So I was very excited when this happened because I wasn't sure if we were going to get one or not. And it being Macho Man, I mean, come on.
Especially when you have, Savage coming from announcing on Monday Night Raw a couple weeks before.
And he comes out with the intensity. And, like, of course, you got to have Macho Man last makes the most amount of sense. No matter what he does, it's fucking gold.
Yep.
Santana goes for a clothesline, but Yoko knocks him down and throws him out of the ring. El Matador Tito Santana is eliminated, and we never see him in a WWF ring again.
Bye-bye.
He was going to be the champ.
One half of Strike Force.
Owen drop kicks Sags over the ropes to the floor, and Jerry Sags is eliminated and from the WWF as well.
I forgot he was even here. Man, like, do we even have a roster after this? Is that why we get so much Doink? They're like, well, we're banking on Doink. Doink and Moon.
And Crush.
Oh, God. Crush doesn't even show up.
Come on, brother.
God. Crush he lives in Hawaii. He's not Hawaiian.
He was born in Hawaii.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
But he's not Hawaiian. Like, I mean, of like...
If you're born in Hawaii,
yeah, but Hawaiian. He's not, he doesn't have... He's just a white guy.
He's not Polynesian.
Yes, he's not Polynesian.
Hey, but Hawaii is a part of America, so he's American.
Barely.
Martel then tosses Owen over the ropes, but he skins the cat and then goes right after Yoko, who hip tosses Hart over the ropes.
I know.
And Owen Hart is eliminated.
We needed more Owen. I feel like this is one of the few times where he doesn't really get to shine, but it is a Rumble.
Yeah.
So
Savage then tosses Repo Man to the floor.
Thank you.
Repo Man's eliminated, and this is the last time we see him in a WWF ring for about 8 years.
I didn't realize the Repo Man thing was so short. But I guess it's because he was probably used a lot more on television.
Final four is Yokozuna, Rick Martel, Macho Man, and Bob Backlund. I got my money on Rick.
I'm all Backlund over here.
I mean, we need an arrogant opponent for WrestleMania.
I want the return of the dad babyface. The dad babyface in a trunks? Yeah, just in a single solid color trunks. Yes. And a bad haircut. Those are the kind of wrestlers I'm into.
The model slams Bob's head into a turnbuckle, tries to lift him up over the ropes, but can't quite get him over. Martel then goes for a vertical suplex, but Backlund reverses to set Rick up on the top rope before delivering a big right hand to knock him off onto the floor. And the model, Rick Martel.
Let's go, Bobby!
Bob goes after Yoko with multiple drop kicks, charges in, but Yokozuna just tosses him over and to the floor. Bob Backlund is eliminated, but he would set the new longevity record at 1 hour, 1 minute, and 10 seconds.
Oh, for some reason I thought Rick did like an hour 3 last time.
He did just under an hour.
Oh, okay. 59:30.
Not too bad for somebody making their return match after
10
plus years.
Plus years, yeah. So Savage and Yokozuna are our final two.
I would have liked to be in that meeting with Vince and Backlund after all these years. I think that would have been one of the potentially smoothest, but kind of interesting.
We're going to give you a minute to calm down, take a breather. We're going to have this big-ass giant dude come down there and stop the show for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, you can go after you get slammed on the ground. Just hang out for a little bit. We'll get you.
Yoko's destroying Macho Man until Savage begins to fire up with left jabs, big overhands, multiple clotheslines, and goes up top for several double axe handles that knocks Yokozuna down to a knee.
Which is the
first time anyone had ever done that.
I know.
I'm
loving Macho Man here, but I always love Macho Man.
Yoko recovers to deliver a thrust kick into a charging Macho, hits a belly-to-belly suplex, a leg drop, and charges into the corner with a butt splash. Goes for a second, but Savage moves, and Yokozuna falls to the mat with the impact.
Oh my God, he's off both feet.
Crazy.
Macho goes up top again, delivering the Savage elbow drop, but goes for a cover, which doesn't really work in this kind of match. And Yoko powers out, sending Macho Man over the ropes and to the floor.
Damn it, Randy. That was really stupid of you.
That's my dad. He got his ass beat. He didn't know where he was.
Your dad did something stupid.
I know.
So Yokozuna is the winner of the Royal Rumble, and he's headed to WrestleMania 9.
Macho is king. That's all. I just got to say it.
Yokozuna is also the record holder now with 8 eliminations in one Rumble.
Ooh.
Who was it before? Do you know? You don't have to look it up. I'm just curious.
I believe it was Hogan.
Yeah, with 6 or something.
Yeah.
7.
Post-match, Caesar and Cleopatra come back out, and they lead Yoko to Las Vegas. Gorilla then sends it to highlights from the evening as he says his goodbyes, and it shows highlights from the entire evening.
Some still shots and some funk guitar.
Until the very last shot, where we see Bret Hart yelling at Yoko in the back before the screen goes to black.
What the damn hell?
Love that Macho's performance. Love that I think that the finish was good. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I think that it was good. Macho's just kind of delirious. The other guy's on Yoko's on the ground. Goes to pin him, gets pushed off. Macho Man doesn't take the biggest L here. Like, it's like, oh.
No, he was helping put over the new talent.
Yeah. While also not
looking like a badass in the process.
But granted, getting thrown over is nobody really looks like a complete geek when they get tossed over. When there's a bunch of stuff going on and somebody pulls a rope down. It's like Royal Rumble is kind of a safe place to get eliminated.
Yeah.
As long as you get an actual chance to do anything in the match, as opposed to run in and get kicked out.
When you have a dude that size up against somebody Savage's size, him kicking out and the force of that pushing
and
Savage up in the air and over the rope.
And it actually looked really good. Like, not all we've seen people that spot, not necessarily in Royal Rumbles, but just in wrestling matches all the time. And this was one of the cleaner ones because he
actually makes it all
the way over. Yeah, and it doesn't always look good. Sometimes it looks too
Usually you can see them jumping in the process.
Too phony. Sometimes it looks too sloppy. Most of the time it's both. And this one was really clean. And Macho was really selling the fact that he took a beating. So him doing the pin even makes sense.
So, gentlemen, I ask you, what are your overall thoughts of the Royal Rumble 1993?
It's a good show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was just as easy to watch now as it was back then. I didn't realize how many old classic people were in this match until there was a section where it was like, oh, there's Ric Flair, there's Bob Backlund, there's Jerry Lawler, $1 Million Man, and
front of everybody's mind, Carlos Colon.
Oh yeah,
that one was like
Junichiro Tenryu.
Yeah, like Tenryu, Colon. Like there were some people here who was like head scratching, kind of like interested and excited.
Technically, Backlund was kind of a head scratcher.
That was honestly the biggest one. But then those other guys were like, all right. But Backlund, I also
kind of proves himself.
It was new, but it was fun. Just like him starting with Ric Flair made a lot of sense, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, and then bringing him back then bringing him back and him not being one of the, big jacked up dudes, which I know they're in the process of moving away from all the big jacked up dudes because of the whole steroid scandal thing going on. But having them bring somebody from the past who is older isn't in that, monster condition.
But he does look great.
Oh, he looks phenomenal. I mean,
he's
the same age as me there. If I could look like that right now, I would
love that as well. If you see him younger, he's like a little bit more. He's more cut, more defined, but he's kept in really good shape considering most guys when they stop wrestling for that amount of time don't normally look all that great afterwards. Have you guys seen Lex Luger these days?
I mean, he looks at himself quite a bit.
At least Lex Luger is thin. He didn't blow up or anything, but
yeah, he broke down.
So I think the 2 title matches are very, very good.
Oh yeah, they're great.
But everything else on the show was a little lackluster.
Yeah, I can see that.
The booking in the Rumble was boring in a lot of spots.
Agreed.
Because literally,
it drags hard.
Like I mentioned right before the Undertaker came out, who in the ring had a chance at winning this thing?
For sure.
There was no one in there, and I feel like they probably should have almost made Perfect. They should have switched Perfect and Backlund.
Mm-hmm.
Had
That would've been
Perfect
great.
be had the longevity, built him up, be in the Final Four. You don't have to give him the win.
Yeah. You can have Backlund go 30 minutes and, knock a couple guys out.
Although it would have been fucking awesome if they put Mr. Perfect in the main event of WrestleMania.
I mean, that would have been awesome, but
Then he would have gotten his goddamn poster. I know he's in one.
he's in a poster somewhere, sometime.
Just a half a face.
But because of all that, this makes this show really just an average show. But the crowd did stay pretty hot.
They did.
Other than the couple of times when people that they just had no clue who they were.
The 2 title matches are fucking wonderful.
Absolutely.
They're so good that, you should just watch the whole show and enjoy those while you're at it. Because the tag match is good. I think the tag match is really good place to start with the Steiners. Not the Steiners in whole, but in WWF. Like, it's pretty good, pretty solid. I think really good first pay-per-view showing for the Steiners. Best we're ever going to get out of the Beverlys that we'll probably ever watch. Bam Bam Boss Man. It's only 10 minutes. So
That's
there's
about all you
that.
can say
So
about
there's that. I'm not the biggest Boss Man fan.
No. Same.
And then, like you said, it drags. It's just the amount of the people that are in there at the same time sometimes is just as big as a head scratcher as Carlos Colon.
Even if we were just to look at the 30 men that were like, if you look at, there's only like 4, maybe 5 guys that you would even go, they have a chance at winning.
Yeah.
Everyone else, it's very heavy on tag team wrestlers and
Skinners.
lower mid card guys. Yeah.
Everybody getting their final appearance.
Yeah. As much as I love, Rick Martel is not winning the Royal Rumble. Not happening.
Oh, but he was so close to being almost the champion at one point. Him and Tito both. Damn it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy that Bret ended up with it, but it's another one of those what would have happened had Tito had a run or Rick had a run instead of...
I mean, at this point, nobody's had a run.
True.
Like, Backlund was the last person that probably had a run outside of Hulk Hogan that you could legitimately call, like, a run as opposed to, like, having a cup of coffee with it while Hogan, went and made, like, Thunder in Paradise.
Good. Where's the smart marks at? There. All right. Fuck you.
It's time we smark it up. What are some of the best moments of the show? The limb work between Bret and Razor.
That match was the best match on the show and I feel like one of my favorite WWF matches we've watched in a while, maybe. I don't know. What was the last one we raved about?
The last what?
WWF match we kind of like all agreed
Hart
on?
versus
Hart and-
Piper.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is...
Flair and Warrior.
Yeah. And
Or
this...
Flair and Savage, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a better wrestling match than all those as far as like
Oh, yeah.
wrestling goes, but that's because Bret Hart's pulling the strings and Razor Ramon is quick to react to them. The show, that match is fucking awesome.
I mean, I got my matchup on a pay-per-view between the Rockers finally.
And I really liked that. I was scared because I remember you kind of poo-pooing on it a little bit.
Well, it's just because it
took so long to happen. Just not the right time.
What's his nuts got in trouble for all those months, so it took
It's a
him
much
out
better
of
name. That's a much better name than Marty Jannetty.
What is his nuts?
What's his nuts?
Yeah.
Don't touch his nuts though, because he might kill you in an alley somewhere.
Oh my god. That match was
finally
good
got to
though. I
see
liked it a
them-
lot.
Well, no, I liked it. That's why it was one of my best. It took forever for it to get there, but I was happy I finally got to see them on a pay-per-view. Doing the send off of the Rockers.
It's a shame we didn't get like the full blow off like gimmick match, cage match. I don't know if they would ever get a cage match. Maybe. I don't remember the last time we saw a cage in the WWF.
The glimmer of hope for that little bit with Mr. Perfect in the Rumble, just because you saw something, or at least I saw something in him I hadn't saw in a while. Just the look in his eyes, the fire was there, even though it wasn't really going to go anywhere. But he has his moments later on.
Yeah, he's not like Muda, where it's like, yeah, you fucked me, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna play with my friends, where I can actually,
When
Yeah, where I'll be appreciated. Like, unfortunately, Perfect doesn't have a place to go for that, which is a big bummer.
Sherri getting her slaps in on Shawn, whether it be with her hand or with the shoe, it was good to see her get a little bit of something, or give a little bit of something in return. Finally,
Outside of the ring, Sherri is the best performance of the show. Granted, the only other, it's like, Gorilla and Bobby and whatnot, but Sherri is like always killing it. But here it just seems like she's somebody give this lady a Tony or whatever award is for television performance.
Slammy?
A Slammy.
How about most disappointing?
narcissist.
The narcissist promo.
Yes.
If it was just shorter, I'd be like, fine, Lex Luger's
segment
here. We
is
can do something with Lex Luger.
And actually, you just said Bobby is usually one of your best performers. Because of this promo, I'd say Bobby is not anywhere close to best performer.
Bobby is my
show.
most surprising because of what they had him do.
Because I'm like, that promo is just so long and just so uncomfortable to watch.
Like, you throw Vicky Guerrero out there, and it would have made perfect sense. But
Yeah,
Bobby
like I said,
Heenan
if Sherri wasn't in this other
scares
thing, if Shawn Michaels if they didn't have a place for Sherri to be at the moment, like, she would have fit in there.
Oh, it would have been perfect. Granted, that would have been her third. I'm Gugu, or I guess technically fourth, because she was somewhat Gugu Eyes over Savage.
Wrestling's
she
not
was Gugu Eyes
kind
over
to women.
$1 Million Man, and then Shawn. I guess there was the model in there too for a short little bit.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
pulling her out,
kind of the game.
Anything else disappointing?
I'm good.
a lot of the
show,
lineup in the
show's
Rumble.
solid. It's a solid show.
All the lower mid card guys. I mean,
Yeah.
because we literally
The
mentioned
slow parts of the Rumble is the
we
low
literally
point.
mentioned 2 or 3 guys that were not on the show, like Crush. I mean, I know you guys are hating on Doink, but I'm like,
Doink should have been in
Doink
there.
would have been better than the Berserker.
It would have been a fucking pleasure for Doink to come in there and do something goofy, and then everybody to slam him out because everybody hates Doink. So, like, you get a bunch of people, knock them all out at the same time. He does a bunch of goofy stuff. You do the, physical comedy of everybody, staring him down. He backs out, dump him over. Nice, cheap pop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do something where, he
Pulls
comes
out the seltzer water.
Instead of, who the hell was 29?
Repo Man.
Instead of Repo Man, have, Doink come out and, push a button and something falls from above the ring, a net or water balloons or something.
That I would have laughed my ass off and would have been better than 90% of the show.
Yeah. But then you had that damn crowd that stayed hot the entire time that made you think that you were missing out on something because it sounded like it was something enjoyable.
They're having a good time. They don't. But Royal Rumble doesn't come to Sacramento probably ever again. It's a crowd that doesn't get big wrestling all the time.
How about best performer?
I got to give it to old Backlund for being gone for as many years as he was and coming back and pulling over an hour. Dude,
I'm a big back fan, but Bret Hart, I know he laid that match out and it ruled.
See, I'm going to go with Macho. I felt like
Macho's up there too.
Literally in his 5 minutes that he's in the ring.
Oh, he stole the fucking show. He made the rest of that, the dull parts. They just flew out of my mind.
The Royal Rumble for me was sitting around worst ever.
Macho comes out
and then
saves
Macho
the whole
comes and saves it.
Saves the whole match.
At least putting Yoko over with a really cool ending.
Great performance, Macho. It's fucking Macho Man. He can like nobody else. He can squeeze fucking gold from a stone. Bobby couldn't do it unfortunately here, but normally he can. Macho, up till now, he's done it 100% of the time, and here he had a harder job than some of the other ones. This isn't Ric Flair. This is Yokozuna after, we're an hour into a slog of a Rumble, and Macho comes in there and just, shoots crack cocaine into everybody's arm.
How about most surprising? I mean, you mentioned something a minute ago.
Backlund?
What they did with
Bobby,
just totally changing everything about him for this one character that nobody cares about.
Yeah, for me it's the Backlund thing. Surprise, and then I never expected him to go that long. So all said and done, I was just like, Didn't expect to see him. Didn't expect to see him for an hour.
It probably shouldn't have surprised me, but literally after, like, while I'm taking my notes, I'm like, someone gets eliminated. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'm like, oh, this doing my research. Like, literally every other person on this show, it's their last time for quite some time in a WWF ring, if not their last time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Together.
I was just like, who's left of the promotion? I'd like to see the like paid list. You know, who's on payroll after the show?
For real, it just completely like shocked me.
Yeah,
I mean, I should know because the whole steroid thing is that's what's causing a lot of this. Is that they're cleaning house.
I know, and I'm over here trying to Google so we can all start taking IcoPro together. But turns out there's no aftermarket, 20-year-old IcoPro for us to purchase.
If any of you have a time capsule that you happen to have...
Put IcoPro in? we're trying to get ripped over here.
90s style, man.
Making their way to the ring.
It's trivia time.
Oh my god.
Oh.
This week, the category is music of the mat.
Hit my music.
Break it down.
Oh my gosh.
So,
We're going to Cobb County, Georgia?
maybe.
I don't
It's
know.
always about Cobb County, Georgia.
So,
The song is just so catchy. I like them. There's so many of the songs that I like, but
I'm going to play a song,
and I just shit all over Boss Man.
and whoever rings in and answers it,
Oh my
Do we need
gosh.
our smart buttons?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody deserves to hear that through the microphone again.
will score 3 points.
Sweet.
I'm so nervous. So if you get it wrong, does that mean that the other person automatically gets the points?
No, they still have to answer it correctly.
But again,
But
we
you only get one guess.
Cap.
Oh, it's Shawn Michaels.
Well, absolutely, that's right, Michael. 3 points for you, sir, which gives you 8, and Shane has 7. So Michael
bum,
pulls
bum.
back out in the lead again.
I can't believe you picked that song.
I can't either.
Random generator.
Oh, you're
guys.
okay. You are like you are
Random
doing the random
generator.
generator, yeah. Because like it makes sense. It makes sense. I love that you're
I told
putting.
you guys, some of these are going to be super easy.
Yeah,
Some of them are going to be a little bit harder.
I know. I get so nervous.
I didn't fully understand the question.
We're bad participants, and we're sorry.
Next week, Super Brawl 3. Shane's first show from North Carolina.
Oh shit, we're going to North Carolina?
Yeah, go on and raise up. Take your shirt
Oh,
off.
I've
Swing
been, like-
around your head like a helicopter.
Searching for stuff from Georgia forever and ever and ever. It's going to feel weird to go to a WCW show that's
North Carolina,
not in Georgia.
like the mustard barbecue. I don't know. That's the only thing boiled peanuts. You guys ever had boiled peanuts?
That's Georgia.
That's Georgia, too.
Yeah, I guess they're the same place, but yeah, I've been to North Carolina a few times. I have family that lives there, so I've eaten they do the more vinegar mustardy barbecue, so that's a thing.
Let's see. North Carolina. Pulled pork with vinegar barbecue sauce is what it
Ooh,
says the
nailed
sandwich
it.
is.
If you want, I can just cook that up here myself and take it off of your shoulders.
My cousin lives in North
That's easy.
Carolina. I might have to hit her up and say, hey, what the hell should I make?
What's the barbecue sauce? Like, what's the one that they use? We'll order it in.
So the music from this week's show is the theme music from the Royal Rumble. And Yokozuna won the Royal Rumble, so we'll play his theme music called Sumo by Jim Johnston.
His song's cool too.
Music.
If you like this episode or any of our other ones, please go out there and rate and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you find your podcasts at. And you can always email us at wrestlinghistoryx@gmail.com with any questions, comments, concerns, recipes.
Recipes. Again, we're going to North Carolina. Let me know what I should make, whether it
Hit
be
us up.
food or beverage.
Or you can always hit us up on Twitter at WrestlingHistoX. That's Wrestling HISTOX. Well, that's way too sexy for us. That's way too sexy.
I'm not your boy, Troy.
We'll talk to you next week.
Laters.